Bramborough back with Grand Tactician Civil War. The theme of this episode is pretty straightforward. Grant fights again in Tennessee. Joe Hooker's 4th Corps sees most of the action, but one of William Sherman's divisions gets pretty heavily engaged as well. Let's get into it. Okay, just a quick refresher of what's going on in the theaters. West to east. 8th Corps in the Army, Missouri, has just arrived at Fort Smith and has begun besieging Fort Smith just now. Like, too early to tell if it's in their favor or not. Siege of Fort Henry continues in Tennessee. Grant's army remains at Nashville. I have told the Cav to come down as far as Columbia, scouting mode, see if there's anything else down here near these supply depots. Who knows? Grant's Cav may go on a little raid down through here just for something to do. Maybe. We'll see. These Confederate forces to the west and east of Nashville haven't been doing much for a couple of weeks. I just want to mention Grant's army not basically staying static at Nashville, but it's the presence of his army at Nashville which is more or less allowing Army of the Mississippi to proceed with these sieges unmolested. Cadwalader still building his supply depot here north of Knoxville, but he's almost done. Almost done. Hatteras expedition is now seaborne and on their way down to see if they can actually capture this fort. Or finish capturing this fort. The fleet has beat it down to 0. They're at 1. The fort's at 1. Condition 1. So I'm thinking these guys should just be able to walk ashore and plant a flag. At least that's what I'm hoping happens. The fort is so low condition that it's not even eligible to be bombarded anymore by the battle squadron. And of course, we just now in the last episode beat back this attack on the nation's capital at the Battle of Fort Washington. And there are 4 corps in the Army of Potomac. They all participated, and they are at varying levels of readiness and on both sides of the river. I think there's 2 corps over here and maybe a corps or 2 on the Maryland side. Kudos again to 10th Corps, who were newly formed and were still kind of organizing at Baltimore and were put straight into the battle, where they built a lot of breastworks, but still, nice job. There was a viewer comment asking about some more Cav for the East Cav Corps. And here we have it. It's here in the recruiting depot for now, and it's going to be several weeks before they're ready. But here we are, Buford's division of cavalry with brigades under Devon, Gamble, and Merritt. All of whom have mixed Cav weapons. That's all I got. But as mentioned last episode, we have a lot of infield musketoons on the way. And that's where we stand. This battle is still going right now. Well, maybe not. I think as soon as time starts rolling, all of these Confederate corps should be retreating. And there they go. Including some on the rivers. Rear guard action. Bye-bye, Johnny Reb. Off you go. Something just built. That's probably a fort repair. Oh no, that's Cadwalader's supply depot. He needs to replenish his stocks for a little while, though. Okay. Well, let's get the Army of the 10th Corps needs to stay on the Maryland side of the river because he's red readiness. Whoever this is, that's the Cav. Let's get the Cav back across the river in scouting mode. Let's push him down to about Fredericksburg. Keep an eye on, looks like, is this Culpeper or Gordonsville? Nothing much to talk about in whoop. Are they retreating still? Yeah, they just took a weird path out of Maryland. I hope all those floating unit routed messages were coming from Army of Shenandoah, and it was just offset a little bit. Okay, there's our Cav getting back across the river. Where is Scott's HQ? Let's come bring you over to Manassas. Let's actually cross the Cav, across the Rappahannock. I think I'm interested in not letting Johnny Reb get up that close to the capital again. Let's put First Corps here. Oh, nice. Scott is working on that supply depot again. It wasn't fully deteriorated to 0. That's good. Fort Reb Garrison is fixing up their fort condition. And let's bring, who is this? 2nd Corps. Let's bring you to about here. And I'm going to build a couple forts here. One about here. And then when 2nd Corps gets over here, I'm going to build a fort right here in this intersection right here, next to this supply depot. Kind of some outer capital defenses. And theoretically, our picket line is kind of preventing crossing of the Potomac. I don't think that Picket 13 can prevent a crossing at this particular ferry, but all these other pickets should be able to prevent river, their combat radii are overlapping. So no Confederate force should be able to embark on water transport, and cross into Maryland down here. Am I 100% sure of that? No. I will mention, and this is as good a time as any to mention, one sees a lot of comments in Steam discussions about Confederate amphibious invasions of the East Coast. Haven't seen any in this campaign. Is that because of the picket line? I don't know. But they haven't occurred, have they? It's one of those, absence of data doesn't exactly prove a theory, but there's no data in the opposite direction either. Okay, 2nd Corps, that's a fine spot. Let's build. I know I'm spending a lot of money, and I'm about to trash my credit rating again, but there. Those might be a little close together, but yeah. Yeah, there it goes. We've issued more bonds. I need to finish this draft so that I can start the Tariff Act. Okay, how's the Hatteras guys doing? Do have a little siege going on here. That is in our favor. 3 dudes, broken unit, 13 fort condition. Come on, Banks. However, why should... Okay, so it's in our favor, great. Why should it even be dragging out the way it is? No, by the way... Enrollment. We have our draft policy. Okay, so that's going to open up a lot of draftee manpower. It is going to pop our national morale, but heck, our national morale is pretty good. It's above 90. And speed of replacements plus 50%. That's the main reason I wanted this. Now we'll see if the replacement speed does in fact help as I monitor this manpower tooltip up here. Look at that. 30,000 men lost to attrition in the last 3 months. Not replaced, right? The return to service number is kind of keeping up with casualties, but not with attrition. Right, Tariff Act. Go. A little over 3 weeks. That will be a fairly quick one because it's a Chapter 1 act. Now, so this looks like it is now a Union IIP, which begs the question, okay, North Carolina Squadron, what are you still doing there? I guess they're sitting outside of it. Ruh-roh. Okay, looks like we got ourselves a battle. Army of the Tennessee. And for some reason it's not giving Grant overall command. Sherman. And it's Polk. Polk and the Missouri State Guard. Price and Polk. If that is in fact still Polk in command of Polk's command. I say that 5 times fast. And looks like we've got a pretty good manpower advantage here, about 41,000 to, well, 29,000. And, well, you know, he attacked me. It is going to take a long time for the Cav Corps to reinforce, 23 hours, because they were in scouting mode. Let's hop in. So Polk immediately, excuse me, Price immediately withdrew. And probably a smart move on his part. Yeah. So riddle me this, Batman. 3 dudes in a broken unit during a siege, and the fort condition is increasing. It was 13 when Banks started his siege. That may not turn out very good at all. Question is, let's try this again. Now that there's some fort condition here, let's move the battle squadron away just a little bit. Get them out of combat radius. And then see if... see, they just routed. Anyway, let's see if we then move him back within combat radius, if he'll start bombarding that fort. If it's possible to bombard and land siege at the same time. I think I've seen that, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, now come back over here. Seriously. Not going to spend a lot of time talking about this because I'm not sure this battle's even going to happen. Murfreesboro map, meeting situation. Objective is here, very close to our deployment zone, so it's essentially defensive. Sherman's Corps is here. I'm going to put them across and form a line between the two rivers. Hooker's Corps is going to cross Overall Creek and then turn and face south, and he'll be over here facing south. So Corps here, Corps here. Oh, by the way, in the previous meeting, same exact setup. Meeting situation, objective here, and this was going to be my plan in the last one too. We'll see if there's a battle this time. Doesn't look like Price is retreating this time. We've got brigades coming this way toward Hooker's position. Lead elements right here, about to make contact with Rowley's Cav. Okay, well, Polk's command here, they're the ones coming down this pike. They're kind of catching Hooker having just crossed the river, right? No defensive position set up, no one's in line yet. So, yeah, this could get fairly interesting, and there's not a lot of cover around here. Troops disorganized from the march. Where is your division commander? Hamilton. And the last brigade is still back here. Okay, let's move Hamilton up to here so that we get less order delay. Oh, wait. They're going to come across the creek over here. Well, all right. If they'd much rather... that's fine. I'm starting to get a little worried. Polk's command. Polk's command. Okay. I haven't seen anybody from the Missouri State Guard yet. I don't think they're on the field yet. Yeah. It's April, which means sunset will be 1800, which means we're going to go into a redeployment overnight phase here shortly. Go ahead and put skirmishers out here. Artillery opening up. Can you rotate a division commander? Looks like no. Can move them up a little bit though. White didn't get into the cover of the fence. Smith did. "14,000 Confederates on the field," so that's just Polk's command. The Missouri State Guard has not arrived yet. They're about the same size. Okay, we'll see how it looks like after the redeployment phase. Okay, it's the morning of May 1st, 0600. Here is Polk's command here, right where we left off at dusk. Here's the Missouri State Guard up here. Basically in formation facing one cav brigade. Pennington's up here just keeping an eye on him. Hooker's now kind of in a position. A lot of his guys are still disrupted from their marching. But the plan is, and Hooker needs to move over here. We're just going to let these Confederates start their little attack. They started just about dusk. And then I'm going to advance Hooker's corps into these guys. I meant to detach this artillery back here. I don't think I did. Let's do that before we begin this push. We need to wait for these infantry brigades to regain cohesion anyway. How's this looking here? Bernard's division engaged over here on Sherman's right. I don't know if this artillery is really getting any shots. Firing. Firing. Yeah. See, I would have thought they would be far enough back. Are they kind of in a little saddle? Maybe. Marston doing all right here on the flank. Supported by Patrick White. Missouri State Guard moving? Nope. You're doing a fine job up there, Pennington. Just keeping an eye on them. Still disrupted. Still disrupted. Disrupted. Yeah, okay. Let those guys rest for a little bit more. Now we're letting them get across the river. 2nd Division looks good. Prentice. Advance. Hardy Division, let's move up just a little bit. Make sure that we stay in range. The 59. These are California troops. They're doing fine here, right here on the flank. Okay, white skirmishers, let's go ahead and pull them in. We're getting a little toasty there. This guy's even moving? No. Sort of. See, there's two separate forces on the field, but they're independent. I don't know the degree to which the AI will coordinate them in the absence of the organization reform. These are independent armies. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to player forces in that regard. I don't know how much that affects the AI or not, as far as command and coordination. And for some reason, the sounds of the build. Somebody is still building breastworks here. Oh yeah, Carr White's 60th Brigade is still working on his breastworks back here. That's okay. He's not immediately needed. This Cav Brigade has been sent packing. Okay, Marston is rotating back to fire at Villepigue without me having to tell him to do so. But once in a while, the Commander Initiative gets it right. You know, give him credit when it's due. Prentice's division is advancing. Is Hamilton to a point? Okay, Hamilton is now to a point where he can support. So let's where exactly are these guys going? Right here. So let's advance Hamilton. Looks okay. And how's about Sumner? Yeah, he looks all right. Let's advance on up to here. Actually, let's see if there may be some cav over here that, or some artillery that is exposed in the rear. Let's put skirms out ahead, just in case they start taking artillery fire. I'd rather skirms take it than the full brigades. Okay, so this little initial attack here has been beaten back. Let's rotate Marston back into his breastwork for green cover. That's not what I wanted. Nope. I just want you to rotate, man. There we go. There we go. Okay, Anderson's rifled artillery should be opening up again pretty soon. They're just about into position. Let's get these howitzers up. Howitzers firing. Oh, those are Napoleons. We'll let them do their work. Let's bring these howitzers up. What's Missouri State Guard doing? Nothing. Great. I want it that way. Okay, now they're trying to react here to Hooker's guys coming up, and they're getting balled up down here in this ford. Going to come up on this rise here, and should be a pretty good situation for them. I'm going to wait for Hamilton's and Sumner's divisions to come up, though. I'm not going to send Prentice down there by himself. What are these anyway? Oh, there's the Iowa Field Artillery, the Sodbusters, with their 3-inch ordnance rifles. I think these are all 10-pounder Parrots and 10-pounder Parrots for the other two rifled battalions. Trying to click Sumner there. There we go. Is there a fence over here around this field? No. Good. Well, that artillery guy. We'll send the cav over here on the flank anyway. Okay, let's advance. Let's advance these divisions into here. Start putting pressure on this army. Polk's command. Yeah, I don't like that alignment. Alright, Prentice moving forward. Those familiar with the historical Battle of Shiloh will know that Prentice, probably not on anyone's list of top 10 Union generals. However, he was one of the 3 division commanders that held the line in the Hornet's Nest for hours under some pretty severe conditions. It was Prentice, Hurlbut, and William H.L. Wallace, who Grant thought was a fantastic division commander, and everything I've ever read would indicate that was probably true, and probably would be a much better known name from the conflict had he lived. He died at the Hornet's Nest early in the war. Not to be confused with Lew Wallace from Indiana, who was also a pretty good division commander, but didn't do that great at Shiloh, and Grant never had much use for him after that. Lew Wallace later went on to become the governor of Indiana. No, sorry. Retract that. Not the governor of Indiana. The governor of New Mexico, I think. I don't know whether it was New Mexico as a state or as a territory, but he was governor of New Mexico, whether it was a state or a territory, at the time of what was called the Lincoln County War, which was a, ranchers and rustlers sort of squabble, but that was the context for the well-known escapades, criminal activity of Billy the Kid, and I think Lew Wallace actually had some communication with Billy the Kid as governor of New Mexico. And Lew Wallace went on to write the novel Ben-Hur, which became an iconic Hollywood movie starring Charlton Heston. Okay, let's start getting more of these brigades. He's firing. Let's advance these guys on up into here. Get more brigades focused. I don't think those skirms are doing any good anymore. Pull those in. Ord. Rufus King's doing okay so far. They are taking casualties at a high rate. And good thing you got that Ace of Spades perk there standing out in the open. It's not that kind of fight today. Oh, let's get Sumner in here. That looks about right. Let's get these howitzers up closer. Looks like the rifled artillery back here is doing fine. 21st Battalion finding some shots. 22 Bat needs to come up and get these Napoleons closer. That looks like a good spot there. But let's back King out. Let's just rotate our units here. Mitchell is fresh. Let's put him up front. Schuyler Hamilton facing off against quite a bit of cavalry here. So let's advance Mitchell just right up here in front of this falling back brigade, like so. Let him take his turn. And by doing it that way, you know, King, he's not near breaking. He hasn't taken inordinate casualties, so he's still combat effective as a reserve. And he's still got some ammo, rather than, you know, just letting him... Uh-oh. Okay. Hamilton keeps pushing this cav back. Hasn't actually taken many casualties here. He is getting fire support from his right, from the 38th under McPherson, Mississippi Rifles. Yeah, that's a fine spot for McPherson. Using that longer range weaponry for fire support here. Okay, let's move 37th Brigade up a little bit. Mitch will come up to about here. That may be too much of a diagonal. He may get in trouble exposing his flank. Sumner's division coming up over here on the right. What is... Nope, they ain't doing nothing. Okay. What's our casualty exchange? 1900 to 600. And in this case, you know, we're not in breastworks. We're out here in the open. I don't think there's even any forest cover here. So this is just a stand-up, you know, firefight. But our brigades are better spread out, and I think able to get more muskets to bear. Now, let's take this rightmost division from Sherman's side and just get them, bring them up here. They'll be able to fire across the river, I think. About like that. Let's bring 60th Brigade up as a reserve. Just put them right here, just as a position. Okay, how... Schuyler Hamilton taking some losses, and that's not a very big brigade anyway. So let's fall them back, and let's push Charles F. Smith forward. How's Ord doing? Ord's doing fine. He hasn't taken any fire. .22 bat firing now. 21 bat firing. These guys back here, the rifled artillery, still have targets. 20 bat still moving up. Missouri State Guard? Nope. Okay. Okay, CF Smith engaging now. These guys are, that's just skirms anyway. Are these skirms or is that a brigade over here? That's just skirms here, fine. And looks like there's nothing but routed units and artillery. So we're gonna get, we'll get this division. This is Bernard, I think. Yes, we'll get Bernard's guys to go after these. Matter of fact, how about 52nd Brigade put out some skirms? Let's see if we can get these skirmishers to engage the artillery. Don't know if that's going to work or not. If I can get them selected. No, that's not going to work. Okay, just pull them in. They're not going to be responsive. I mean, we're up on this hillock up here, firing down into this. I mean, that's quite a kill zone there. Kearney. Let's get some of you guys involved. Let's advance Kearney here. Wool. Smith doing great. Mitchell's doing okay. McPherson's guys still able to fire right through this gap between the brigades. I bet McPherson winds up with the highest casualty count inflicted. Oh, we've got some cav that has come up here. 52nd Brigade needs to take care of them. Stockton. Let's just advance this brigade right up into here. And there's William H.L. Wallace. I was bragging on you earlier. Kind of need to detach his cavalry before I do that, but yeah, whatever. I think it'll be fine. Okay, Smith has got some pesky skirmishers to his front. That's not doing him any favors. It's Kearney. Yep, Kearney's engaged. 2,500 to 900. Now, the percentage is still pretty low because all the troops in the Missouri State Guard up here sitting on their butt on this river aren't counting, right? So even though we're murdering Polk's command, the overall Confederate casualty percentage isn't that high yet. Okay, Patrick White engaging these units right here. So is Marston. They do have a little bit of cover in there. Let's rotate CF Smith. McPherson doing on ammo? Still pretty good. I don't want the 40th under Schuyler Hamilton to engage anymore if we don't have to, just because it's a darn small brigade. I should probably furlough them. Kearney, how you doing? They haven't even shot at Kearney. 0 casualties. And he's got a target. He's banging away. No need to change anything there. Yeah, I don't know if... it says they're all still firing. It's hard to imagine how they can't. What are the ranges for those rifled? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, off you go. Keep going. It seems weird that they have line of sight down into this little bowl here, but who am I to argue? As long as they're firing, I'm a happy camper. Missouri State Guard? Nope. Okay. Is there another unit here? No, that's all. Well, tell you what. Let's see if we can get the Cav into some trouble over here. Just have them see if we can melee some of these units. Pick up some prisoners. Maybe. That's always a little finicky, right? Sometimes it works more often. Not as much. Okay, we've got some of Sherman's brigades coming across the field here toward this artillery. Already can't be too happy about that. I think those skirmishers are superfluous now. Let's pull them in. These skirms are still moving forward. Let's run them ahead. Here, go fire at that Young's battalion. Cav is wavering here in front of Patrick White, who is still doing great for casualties. Mitchell's still doing fine. Smith is doing okay. It'd be nice to get him a little bit of cover and get him his perk upgraded. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Still no movement here. Okay, broken in here. It's not really room for 59th Brigade to advance. You can't cross here, and his spot is kind of taken by 52nd Brigade over here. We'll move him up here, just in case. Although, I mean, there's nothing over here that's really going to do anything. It's just mopping up some arty on that side of the river. These two brigades down here in the fort are just about taken care of. Missouri State Guard? Nope. Still no movement here. That cav isn't fully broken yet. Or they may be recovering. Got a commander there. See what Raleigh can do about that. Oh, and this infantry brigade is starting to recover as well. So I think Cav's got a little bit of work to do here. Keep those guys under our thumb. A massacre down here in this bowl. Okay, I'm gonna keep Raleigh mounted. And I'm gonna have to be careful with how I maneuver him. Keep him from messing up his own morale. May not be a great situation. This guy's in cover down here. See, if they had the Richmond carbines or the infields, they'd have better range right here in this situation. Okay, looks like everything's routed. Just about. 4,400 casualties, just about 15% of the total Confederate force. Looks like there's some kind of movement, but which direction? It's hard to tell. I think they might be withdrawing. Raleigh's not taking any return fire. He's only taken 8 casualties, and I think that his 8 casualties are probably overnight attrition losses, not combat losses. Okay, that cav is taken care of. Let's move Raleigh over away from the river. Before I start maneuvering him to do anything else. No, these guys are just leaving. Yeah. It may take a little bit longer, but basically they are already... York's battalion has marched from the battlefield. They're already withdrawing. So... Well, the two corps did surprisingly even for casualties inflicted. Hooker's Corps 2,800, Sherman's Corps 2,300, and that's because Sherman had that right flank division under Bernard that was fairly well engaged for much of the battle. Yeah, 2nd Division, that one division did almost all of Sherman's casualties. And then in the 4th Corps, it was Prentice's division in the middle, the 2nd Division, who did more than the others. However, still pretty well spread out among the 3 divisions in Hooker's Corps. And Raleigh over there, the Cav, almost 700 casualties. He took 8, as we saw. Yeah, total 8. And that was attrition losses. 0 combat casualties. It was a fine day for the Union cavalry there, at least in that one brigade. And Pennington did his job too, just keeping an eye on the Missouri State Guard. Okay. I got some time to run here to actually formally get out of this battle. And as expected, yeah, they withdrew at the end of the day, which it's May now, so it was 1900, not 1800 for the second night. 5,500. We did lose almost 1,400 men. Few guns. He lost about half of his. And there you have it. Minor victory. We didn't get even close to 20% of the total Confederate force. Let's just run time a tiny bit longer and see if this battle squadron starts bombarding Fort Hatteras again. The fort condition is going back down. It's back down to 15 while we were fighting at Nashville. The garrison unit did rout again. No? Okay. Well... yeah, I think Banks is still going to win. It's just... it's a little silly. Garrison is broken. It's 3 guys. So even though it's a certain... I think it's a certain success, it's not clear to me why it's being fought at all. Okay, we've repaired Fort Washington. That's good. How are things going on up in Virginia? Still working on these forts. Supply depot's almost done. 10th Corps coming up in readiness. This is just replacement. This has nothing to do with the Army here, Army HQ. That's Halleck's. He's in overall command of the 2 recruiting departments. And the Cav is down here watching to see what these guys do. And they're all down here around Gordonsville. It's our siege. Oh. Got the Army of the West coming here to join this, and the Army of Arkansas. 3,200 men here. Army of the West is 6,000 men. So that just got more interesting at Fort Smith. Let's see how this looks. Uh-oh. Not looking awesome for Nathaniel Lyon. Well, it's alright. He got some XP. So he'll wind up retreating, probably back up to Carrollton, I would suppose. Pick up a little XP, and we'll send him some artillery, I think. And then he'll come back and try again. But might send him a couple more brigades as well, right? This is turning into a real campaign in Arkansas, and that's fine. So let's double check, see what we have at the Western Department. Yeah, there's a few brigades here. No artillery yet, and there won't be for a little while. Could send them some artillery all the way from Buell's department in the east. In any case, I think that will do for this episode. If you like what we're doing with the channel, if you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.